probably in hindsight would include that. Yeah. At least two. Yeah.
Right past the.
What's that do when you write on that? What's that? Is it perfect?
Welcome, everybody, to the February 10th, 2020 Lawrenceburg Redevelopment Commission meeting. And we'll start the meeting with a roll call.
Executive Director Brian Messmore.
Here.
President Richard Richardson.
Present.
Vice President Lenny Fryman.
Here.
Secretary Kevin Schaefer.
Here.
Member April Fritsch.
Here.
Member Brian Johnson.
Present.
School Board Member Brian Jansen is absent. And City Attorney Zach Anderson.
Here.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. If everybody's had time to read the meeting minutes of the previous meeting, I'll accept a motion to accept those into record.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Move on to our announcements. And under that, I see we've got an annual report.
Yes, sir. The annual report is an annual report, by the way. It's a summary of the action items taken by the Redevelopment Commission and the dollar amounts associated with those actions. That is the 2019 annual report that is required, and it's in your packets for your records. In addition to that, this evening I'd make one additional announcement that the Redevelopment Commission TIF report will be presented on March 9th. That would be the next Redevelopment Commission meeting. That also is an additional annual requirement.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Now we'll have a financial report.
As of February 3rd, the balance for redevelopment is $3,016,321.92, and after monies committed to projects, it's $1,209,276.01.
Thank you, Ms. Brookbank. Move on to new business. We have Jenny Fowler. Well, I'll turn it over to Brian Messmore. Maybe he can introduce
Yes, welcome,
Jenny for us.
Jenny. Jenny works for the Small Business Development Center and does a lot of work here in our community to help small businesses do, and she'll explain it a lot better than I do, by the way, but a very key element to the efforts in the downtown area to get people business plans developed, market analysis, and things that we would require as a part of any potential project to invest in. So please fill us in.
Okay.
Above and beyond.
Well, thank you. Thank you for Brian for having me and Kelly for getting me in. Also, I have cards here that I can pass down in case you want them, or in case you want to start a business or expand your business and want to come in and talk. So my name is Jenny Fowler. Part of what I think Brian wanted me to come in and do too is a lot of new people who haven't met me yet. And so just to kind of fill you in a little bit on what I do. So I'm going to do that. My name is Jenny Fowler. I work for the Indiana Small Business Development Center. I give no charge business advice to anybody who wants to start a business, expand a business, or commercialize a product, which is pretty much everything. If I don't know, and I don't know everything, but if I don't know about business, I can connect people with resources, or I go about and try and find the answer for them. It's not just about answers, though. A lot of it is people come in and they just need help. They need help with their business. They want to talk to someone about it. Business is a roller coaster. And they need to talk to people about it. They want me to look over their financials, whatever they want. My coverage area is in the southeast region. I cover 6 counties: Franklin, Dearborn, Ripley, Ohio, Switzerland, Decatur, and I meet clients in Lawrenceburg, Batesville, and Greensburg primarily. But occasionally I will go out and meet them at their location. Most of that is just to consolidate for costs. Probably I do 60-40. So about 60% of what I do is helping people start businesses. 40% of what I do is helping people expand or do something with their existing business. And that's kind of pretty much how I've been running. And we get our financing or our funding to make sure that it's no charge, right? We get our funding through the SBA, which is Small Business Administration, a federal entity, the state of Indiana, our host, which is Purdue University, and local municipalities like Lawrenceburg Redevelopment and Lawrenceburg Main Street. And I get that kind of funding across all 6 counties. Anyway, that basically, if you wanted to sum it up, I would say is the taxpayers. And that's usually what I tell people. The taxpayers have some things they want me to be focused on. Specifically, those are getting businesses started, helping more people get employed in those businesses, and helping them get money into those businesses. And that's what I do, a lot of what I do. And that means that I work on business planning and financial planning a lot. And people aren't normally experts in that. And so it's not a skill that you just have right off of the bat. Even people coming out of school don't have those kinds of financial projection skills. Takes a lot of experience and a long time in business, and so I can help them ramp up really quickly. Also, one other thing this year that the taxpayers would like us to be focused on is exporting. The state of Indiana is in the top 5 states in the country for exporting. We do about $35 billion worth of goods exported out of the United States and out of the state of Indiana. So consequently, the state wants to get our arms around that and help expand that effort. So we have some metrics around exporting. I also wanted to maybe review last year's results. I did that with the team that was here before. And so I'll just kind of quickly go through that, and I'm going to make it pretty Lawrenceburg or Dearborn County specific. Some of the results on metrics are really only county level. But last year I had 23 business starts, 23 businesses across 6 counties that I helped get started. That was the total. 10 were in Dearborn County, and 4 of them were in Lawrenceburg specifically. Also for capital infused, I had my total was 1.8 million. So in other words, I helped $1.8 million get into businesses in those 6 counties. Within Dearborn County, it was 1.15 million of that 1.8. And I helped over 300 people, employees, in a positive way, either stay employed or get employed in those businesses. So just me, right, just Indiana SBDC impacts that many people and that many businesses across these 6 counties. So first, thank you for investing in what I do. Thank you for investing in the Indiana SBDC. It impacts a lot of businesses and in a really positive way. It's a partnership. I work with Brian and Kelly. I also work back here with Michelle in Lawrenceburg specifically, but I work across all 6 counties with all the municipalities and mostly with economic development, chambers, and mayors and economic development people in that area. I get referrals from so many people, but a lot from banks. As you can imagine, somebody walks into a bank, I want to start a business. And the bank looks at what they have, which might be, a piece of paper. They look at what they have and say, you got to go see Ginny. Chambers, a lot of times people will walk into chambers and say, I want to start a business, or they're a member of a chamber and they say, I need help with a business, or I'm trying to expand. And every chamber says, you need to go see Ginny. Economic development entities and mayors, the same way. People say, I want to start a business here. What can I do? Immediately, I think in my 6 counties, everybody says, you got to go see Ginny. So that's a good thing, right? I've been doing this for 5 years, so I got my name out there. I do a lot of other things above and beyond just helping clients within the municipality, but my main job is helping clients and the taxpayers, the citizens. How does it work? Last time when I came here, the team was super interested in what I do, right? How I do what I do. What's the process that I go through? So I kind of wrote that out because at the time, I was caught a little bit off guard and I didn't maybe give as good of an answer as I could have, so I wrote those steps out. First, I get the referral, right? Somebody says, hey, they hand out my card. That's why you have my cards. They hand out my card, or they find my card somehow, or they saw me talking at some talk that someone asked me to come in and do. And they call me or email me and say, hey, I'd like to set up a time to meet. We set up a time to meet. I have to, and I'm required by the state and federal government to meet them most of the time face-to-face, and absolutely the first time I have to meet them face-to-face. We've been let off a little bit in the last year that we're allowed to do telephone calls and stuff, but not the first time. I have to meet clients face-to-face. Then what I do is I assess the need on the first meeting. I assess what they want to do. I ask them, give me some background, what you want to do and what they need my help with. And I assess what they need. The next meeting, I pretty much always do preliminary financial projections. I have learned that is what makes people realize whether this business model is going to fly or not. I don't have to discourage them after that from doing the business or not if I can get them to look at the financials. No matter what, if you look at the numbers and start doing the math, that's what tells you whether you're going to stay in or not, right? Or do I need to change this business model, refine this business model to make it different so I can make money? Then we work on business planning. If we're going forward this way, we work on business planning and financial projections. We work on putting their packet together. I give them options on what their financing could be. And I help them get prepared for that because it's a pretty onerous process. Now, there is a lot of up and down mentorship and hand-holding. Again, it's a roller coaster starting a business. And emotionally, it's a roller coaster. Financially, it's a roller coaster. And I pretty much hold their hand through that. I have talked many a person off the ledge so that they didn't jump off and just end it right there. 23 last year, actually. But that said, it helps to have someone that you trust. I also have a discretionary policy that I'm not allowed to share anything that they share with me, and I hold that in confidence. So they can feel comfortable sharing things with me. That's pretty much what I do. Then when they're ready to fly, they fly. They go get their financing. Hopefully it all went well, and they get out there and start their business, or they expand their business and they do well and they employ more people. That's pretty much the process. I try to keep in touch with the stakeholders, people who want to know. I try to help as much as I can in the communities that I'm in. I'm involved in economic development efforts all across 6 counties. And it's a fun job, and it's up and down. Also, they are allowed to meet with me as much as they want for as long as they want. So I have ongoing relationships with businesses. A lot of people will meet with me every quarter. Ginny, will you look at my financials? Ginny, will you tell me what I'm doing? Ginny, I want to expand. Can you help me with that? So again, thank you very much for investing in that. I think the money last year that you invested was $4,000. For $4,000, you kept over 300 people employed and happy. You got 4 businesses in Lawrenceburg, 10 in Dearborn County. And so I consider that to be a win and a really good investment. I'm hoping that after this that you will consider reinvesting in the Indiana SBDC with at least $4,000 again this year. So that's a little bit a part of what I'm here for. But that is what I do, and hopefully you actually have questions or you're interested. You're welcome. I'm here to answer whatever you want.
What's the average amount of time that you actually spend with a client? So they
Oh,
come
my.
in right from start, right from scratch. What would you say the average is that you spend with that person?
Number of hours, probably probably 15 or 20 hours with them. So part of what I don't write business plans, but I help a lot of people with business planning. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. And I do their initial financial projections because I learned right off. They have no idea how to do it. And so I do it, I teach them while I'm doing it, and then I let them do it, and I commit to them if they want me to, that I will put their financial projections into their business plan so they can see how that's done. So I spend a lot of time on that too. But it's probably 20 hours of, face-to-face time.
What you do is an absolutely invaluable service. I mean, it really is.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, it really is. To be able to have an idea for a business, but then to be able to go to somebody like you and say, I've got this idea, I think this would work, and then you're able to show them through those financial projections whether it would work or not. And
Yeah.
to give that is absolutely, you can't put a figure on that. $4,000 is nothing.
Well, thank you for saying that. I will agree with you in that, so my husband and I started a business 5 years ago. And so I know firsthand what it's like. It's in Dearborn County, by the way. And you're right. I think the biggest thing is people don't know until they went through it. First of all, they don't know expectation, right? Second of all, they have no idea how to do it. And third of all, they don't know how emotionally draining it's going to be. And if you've been in business, it is at first. The first initial investment, oh my goodness, every single client that I have, their initial investment, when we're ready to pull the trigger on the business, they're scared to death. I remember that feeling, right? I remember that feeling, being scared to death. They want my money, right? And then, you know, if there are businesses who aren't doing so well, and I've had some that I've counseled that aren't doing so well, that's another harrowing experience. So, yeah, it's up and down. To have someone to hold your hand and to be able to share that with, that helps them. And the mentorship part is integrally important to that.
No, that's a good word to use, mentorship. That's really what you're providing. So you said there were 4 businesses that started in Lawrenceburg last year?
Mm-hmm.
How many came to you? Do you know that number?
Total
offhand?
number of businesses last year?
Yeah, like how many came to you to, like, we had 4 that started, but how many did you have total that
In Lawrenceburg, I had approximately 100 new clients last year. But I don't know off the top of my head in Lawrenceburg.
That's fine.
What were the 4 specific ones that you did land in Lawrenceburg?
So Anchor Counseling, Chic Boutique, Simply Lashes and Brows, and Crafter's Hideout. There are some that opened right after that that I was working with. Yeah, I would probably say there are at least 10 in Lawrenceburg, at least 10 last year. And that's probably doesn't include all of the, you know, the people who come back and just want to meet with you. So I do that a lot. So.
Anyone have any other questions?
Just pretty much covered it.
I would entertain a motion then to continue funding in the amount of $4,000.
I'd second that motion. You make a
Well,
motion?
you're going to make a motion. You're going to make the motion. Do I have a second for the
I'll
motion?
make the motion that.
I'll
we keep
second.
us going.
And we have a second by Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your support. And,
Thank you.
you know, hopefully
Thank you,
I'll be
Jenny.
back.
Now we'll move on to old business on our agenda. I'll throw that over to Director Messmore.
Well, thank you. And if I could have Mr. Rezzo take the podium for an update on progress at Proof 124.
Thank you very much, Mr. Messmore, Mike Rezzo. And I'm back before you again, just simply to give you a brief update of where we're at, and then allow you to ask any questions if you have any. But obviously, we're talking about 124 Short Street, the firehouse project, and Proof 124. We're moving along at a good pace, and we're literally about a month away from a grand opening. So we're very close. The main room, the main dining area, we're just now doing, we're just doing finishes now. So it's really wrapping up. If you come in and you take a look at it, you'll see what it's starting to come together, and it's starting to look like something. It's starting to look like a restaurant, minus a lot of the tables and such, which will be coming in this over the next few weeks. So a lot of the work's now moved kind of the back of the house where all the tile was delivered for the restrooms, so that's moving forward. Kitchen hoods were up today. The makeup air unit, I mean, these are things like, just the hoods and the makeup air, there's about a $30,000 expense. People don't realize what it takes to put these restaurants in. And so it's things that don't really add to the wow factor, but it's part of what it needs to make the business successful. So kitchen equipment probably be in Friday. So then it'll look like a functioning kitchen. The cooler is supposed to arrive, I think, next week. So that'll be in. And by the time they get open, then we'll be moving everybody to the patio. So I know that that's one of the focal points. Everybody's excited about to see that on the building. And so we'll have that ready to go before the weather breaks and the music starts. So that's kind of where we're at. I know some of you have stopped by. I'm going to extend the offer. I hear this a lot. I don't want to come down there. I see your vehicle there. I don't want to bother you. Come in and bother me. I love to show off what we're doing as a partnership here. So please come in and I'll give you the tour. It'll be pretty much your only chance to do it before they open, and then you won't get to see everything, in the back. And so I'm encouraging you to take advantage of that. That's all I had. So.
Question, and it might have been discussed before, I just didn't pick up on it. What is the capacity, or what will be the capacity?
I have to look at that. I don't know. So legal capacity from a fire code standpoint, or just like tables, the number of tables. So inside, you're looking at about 88 seats, including seats at the bar, and outside actually is going to be more. It'd be more than that. It'd be, in the mid 90s with the double deck. So then I guess I should mention, the deck. Then the next phase is upstairs, which is going to be an event room that you can rent, or for parties or events, luncheons.
Capacity on the event room is the additional 90?
No, that doesn't even include.
Oh, okay,
that doesn't include that. I don't know. We haven't really laid that out yet. So
What he was referencing was the upstairs of the patio.
Right, the 2 levels.
the patio, correct,
Right.
just the patio. So we're real excited about it. Again, thank you for your involvement. This team, we appreciate it. Kelly's a joy to work with. Brian's been good to work with.
Less than a joy. Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah, less than a joy. You don't compare to Kelly, I'm sorry. So any other questions?
I'll just add that I had the opportunity to stop by this weekend. Mike gave me a tour, and I'm excited about the new restaurant.
Thank you very much.
looks great.
I'm glad you came by, I really am.
All right, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Mike?
Throw that back to Director Messmore again. I believe we have a Main Street report.
Yes, you will find monthly that this will be a routine for you. And Michelle, if you can step up while I'm introducing, that you will have a Main Street report. And this is the what we refer to as the Lawrenceburg Redevelopment Commission and Main Street Investment Program. And there, I'm sure you're familiar with by now, several categories of grants that are available and different matching components for each of those. But they're always in your packet, always available for your review. And Michelle comes almost all the time, and just in case there are any questions. But I will turn it over to Michelle.
So good afternoon, everybody. Michelle Cohn with Lawrenceburg Main Street. Here to tell you that 2020 is off to a strong start. So far, we have approved 2 residential housing grants totaling $8,700. We've approved and paid out 1 sign and awning grant, so it's awning for Hudson Eye Center. And probably not on your list, but most recently approved on Friday is 2 new business small action grants, 1 for the Main Street Market and 1 for Proof 124. What's so exciting about these small business action grants is our partnership with Jenny We have recently required that all businesses create a business plan with Ginny, go through the process, which has been very illuminating for our new business owners. Sometimes they are a little reluctant to head over and dive in because it's new for them with the projections and things, but they always leave with a great sense of security and a strong idea of what it's going to take to help their business to succeed. It also helps Main Street and Ginny develop strong relationships with the business owners. So I am on a first name basis with Darren and Christina. We have brought them into the fold, told them about the other programs that Main Street has as far as our billboard program, the grand opening packages. Darren had participated in our wine walk with the sneak peek open house. He's going to participate in the pub crawl. He's also signed up to participate in the Music on the River. So it's a really great way to let these new business owners know how much we appreciate them, how much we support them, and to just welcome them to the community. I've gotten feedback that they just get a great sense of confidence, and it's just nice to get to know them. And then on the other hand, Ginny and I have also spent a good deal of time together over the past couple of days to talk about how to support the merchants that are here already. So once we bring them in, how to continue to help them grow and develop, and kind of what Ginny coined as teach them to fish. So not just always give them money, but also maybe give them some skills as far as maintaining a marketing plan. We seem to notice that there might be some operational shortfalls in kind of these slower months in January and February, so you might see Ginny and I come with some ideas on how to support these merchants, not so much in a way as to give them more funding, but in a way to teach them to fish and help them through some of these slower times. So it's been a great partnership with the two, both for Main Street, but also for our merchants. So thank you for continuing to support these programs. And are there any questions?
Would you give them just a brief glimpse in how the design committee and both our committees evaluate proposals?
Sure. And I forgot to say that, and this is probably the big number, but the New Business Action Grant we gave out, they max out at $7,500, so it's a public investment of $15,000, but brought a private investment total of $85,000 to the community. So those are the grants that bring a lot to downtown. As far as the New Business Action Grant, that goes through the Main Street Economic Development Committee, and that committee reviews the business plan, and we now have a standardized format created with Ginny. Ginny will come and actually present the financials, so she's not representing the business, but she will walk the committee through the financials that she created. From there, if there's any questions, I'll reach out to the business owners, get back to the committee, and then it goes to our board for final approval. The process is similar for the residential, commercial, and sign and awning grants that goes through our design committee, and these are groups of business owners downtown. They look at all of the projects, make sure that they conform to what we will approve, because we are pretty specific about the types of things. It has to be either front-facing facade or structural as far as gutters and things that are going to keep the building standing. Just make sure they're good. And all of these require 2 bids. So we look at the amount they're asking for and make sure that they're a reasonable amount. Once they're approved by the committee, then again, they go to our board for final approval.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that report. We appreciate what you do down there. Old business is finished here. We'll move on to approval of claims. Does anybody have any questions about the claims? If not, I would accept a motion to approve those claims.
I make a motion that we accept them.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We will accept comments from the audience. All right, if there's no comments, then I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.